What's up, everybody? This is Rob Cruz, your host of the Transcending Sport podcast. My guest, she's been here before on the show, but every time she gets on the show, she's always up to something. This one right here, she's always up to something. We have Jami Lobpries, the leader of the Alliance Fastpitch and GM of Portland Cascade. Jami, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rob. I'm happy to chat as always.
This is. I'm so happy. Every time I get a chance to talk to you, I always get happy. So I want to catch everybody up. Most people know who you are. If you don't, you should. If you're doing your homework and you're really into this game, Jami has done so much for the game. Her level of passion and her creative intelligence has brought her to a level where she has made such an impact and continues to make an impact on the game of fast pitch softball. And she's also, as I know, inspiring other sports as well. So I want to start off with just, a little bit about, I know you played at Texas A&M, and so I know we'll talk a little bit about that, even though we did cover that in the previous interview. But let's talk about just a little bit of your playing days before we go get it down to the nitty gritty, because I got some questions for you. So I know you started out in soccer, but how'd that transition happen? Talk about that. How'd you end up on trying softball?
It's funny. I was going to say, I think my story has to start of growing up in a small town in Texas, playing every sport imaginable.
Yeah.
Even my parents dragged me to swim meets that I didn't really want to go to.
Yeah.
But I was just an athlete. I was an outdoors kid. Always wanted to be on the go and play sports.
Mm-hmm.
But soccer was my path. I thought I was playing club soccer, and I was playing baseball with the boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I learned about playing college sports was through soccer.
Yep.
But honestly, going to high school, I'm like, I need to switch to softball. In my own words,
That's
I was
good.
like, I think it's time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just athleticism overall led me to Texas A&M. I won a running competition that helped me get recruited. I
Mm-hmm.
was athletic, I was fast, and I worked hard. So I think those traits
Right.
really helped lead me to A&M.
Yeah.
And then there, I was just fortunate, honestly, of the players around me that I played with.
Mm-hmm.
The Amanda Scarboroughs, the Megan Gibsons, Jamie Henshaws of the world, and a leader in Joe Evans. And
Mm-hmm.
just that was really the catapult then that took me on a journey that led to the NPF, made as many connections as possible. And it's ultimately what helped me get to where I am.
That's cool. So I want to start off talking about the AUSL. Obviously, we know we met during your time in the NPF, and it's funny and just for me to be able to be a part of watching how professional women's softball has evolved. Because I remember when you had the New England Riptide. I remember when you had the Juggernauts, the New York, New Jersey Juggernauts back in those days. I remember there was another one in Philly. There was another team in Philly that was here also on the east, northeast. You had the
That was
Texas. I
the
don't know if you
team.
remember the Texas Thunder back in those
Yep.
days. People were like Texas Thunder. What's that? Texas actually had two pro teams back then. And then they went to Rockford. I think they went to the Rockford. The Thunder moved to Rockford. I mean, it's such a history, a rich history. And then here we are with the AUSL. It's just a whole nother level. I want to talk about when you went through the NPF as a player. You got to experience it as a player, as a professional athlete, and it was tough. I mean, I was there as a coach, and I remember how it was, but I feel like there's little things that happen along the way that catapulted to the next level of figuring out, hey, how can we make this better? And
Yeah.
I want to know what are some of the things that are the differences from what happened with the NPF and how it has evolved into the AUSL.
Well, I think I was actually sharing this with my team with the
Mm-hmm.
Cascade on our first night of
Mm-hmm.
just where my passion comes from. So I think at my core, I'm very passionate and I'm a problem solver. And so my first team was actually the Philadelphia Force, and I,
Oh,
I
was it?
didn't get
Okay.
drafted.
Okay.
I didn't get drafted. I didn't play after my senior year. I was
Mm-hmm.
headed to grad school, and I got a call to see if I wanted to play the next summer. And
Mm-hmm.
so I was a rookie the year after I played. My first team went bankrupt. We we didn't get our last paychecks, and I was a broke master's student who needed some money.
Mm-hmm.
But I was so inspired from day one by the women that played. I'll never
Mm-hmm.
forget, the story's important. In 2010, we were in Sulphur, Louisiana, in our banquet, which was like, I think a gym, like a gymnasium in Sulphur.
Mm-hmm.
We're getting ready for the championship.
I
And
was
that's a
there.
year that
I was there.
several players from USA softball
Yep.
had said, "Hey, we're gonna," because we were out of the Olympics at that point, and they
Mm-hmm.
said, "Hey, we're gonna make a commitment together to grow professional softball." And those names were Caitlin Lowe, Jess Mendoza, Natasha Watley,
Yep.
Ashley Carters, Lauren Lappin, Monica Abbott, and I'm like, wow, these women who are the world's greatest, they they want to do something to grow professional softball. So I was incredibly inspired. I
Yep.
played on league
Mm-hmm.
owned teams. I would think I was on the last place team every time,
Yep.
except maybe my last year at the Carolina Diamonds. But I knew that there was a great product. And so I've just been on this mission to just be a part of the growth of professional softball. And then that mission, ironically, took me to USSSA. It took me to the grassroots
Yep.
and trying to really help pro softball, from the bottom to the top.
Yep.
So when I got the opportunity, I got a call and to see if I'd be interested in interviewing for this position. To me, as long as it worked within my schedule, it was a no-brainer. And
Yep.
just to be a small piece, I felt like I was a more passive role of supporting professional softball, but I really believed in what AUSL, what Kim Eng was doing. And so
Yep.
if I could have an active piece in that, then I was all in.
Yep.
So this has been amazing.
Yeah, I remember, and just to provide some context too, and how for me, I never really fully understood the importance of women's professional softball and why a female grown woman would want to like do that because the money wasn't there. I never fully understood it until I coached in it. It gave me an
Yeah.
exposure, and it gave me, and then just trying to understand, like, so who really inspired me? Megan Willis. Her whole vibe, her whole story, the whole, I was like, wow, like they're willing to like really put their whole life on hold to make this thing freaking work. That's crazy to me. Like they'd be like, I'm gonna go get a job. I'm gonna go right. It's a little different. It's a little different gender wise. What the women have done this in the world. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Like, then I started looking at it differently. And I'm
And I
telling you,
think that's
yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so I think that's what inspired me, right? It is, I know the sacrifices that have been put in. I did it myself,
Yeah.
right? And so many other women around me that were great, great players were playing for this bigger purpose, this bigger cause. And so we went through things in the NPF that, and even before me, like way
Before that,
before
yep,
me too,
yep.
women were doing things in softball that because they dreamed of this. They dreamed of this. And we're still, obviously, there's still room to
Oh
grow,
yeah, oh yeah.
but
Mm-hmm.
we are definitely on the right track. And we're seeing things that didn't happen before. I was on a call with AUSL and we were meeting all, because obviously this is the first year in our home markets. So now we have staffs. And so I was meeting our staff for the Cascade in addition to the operational staff of AUSL. Rob, I think there were like 20 people on that call. And I'm
That's pretty
looking
good.
around like, you guys, I didn't even have an athletic trainer. And now we have two that travel with us, and a strength and conditioning coach, an equipment manager,
That's pretty
two of
cool.
them, a director of operations. I mean, it's just the resources that are being put in that makes it's a business, right? And
Yep.
there's a lot of things behind the scenes
Mm-hmm.
that have to happen. And finally, like the resources have been put in to make that happen. It's really exciting. And to me, it's definitely not about me, but it's a lot about what a lot of those trailblazers have done.
Mm-hmm.
And it is fulfilling to see like, okay, all right, our sacrifices are starting to really show up and starting to pay off now.
Yeah, and I think it takes time. And I'm a big WNBA fan. Like I like really truly follow it. I follow the games, the teams, the growth, and I also follow the subplots as well because I think you know this. My cousin Krissa is a VP for the NBA. for years. She's been a VP for the NBA for almost 30 plus years, and so I'm I have a special interest in the NBA itself. But I'm the youth model for basketball, women's basketball, is very different than the youth model for fast pitch softball. In a way, so because I'm watching it too, and I'm watching it, and for me, like I just wish that women's fast pitch softball at the youth level pushed the personal branding model, the personal branding education to the young players, so that they understand that they are a brand. And when you go play at the collegiate level, you are co-branding with that college, right? But your brand has to have value, because we have high school players in women's basketball that are making significant amount of money. And if you look at the top followed players in women's college basketball, I mean, it's astronomical. This social media impact, and for them to be able to be themselves. And this is us having this conversation. I'm very intentional about having this conversation with you on the podcast, because I want for softball, I want fast pitch. I want the women to be able to get real brand deals, not a couple of pairs of cleats and a couple of bats, and I'll shoot a couple of Instagram videos. Like I want like cars, car insurance, hotel chains, fragrances, their own line of fragrances, a real shoe. And those were things that I was trying to do with Nakona back in 08, 09 with women's fast pitch. When I was working with Nakona, I was like, nah, we got to get these girls real deals. Like they need to have their own glove, and they make money on the glove sales. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I was trying to do back then, but I didn't have the pull to make that happen. But I think we can now because of social media, and to get these women making some real life-changing money. Like,
Yeah.
and I think that's where, like you said, it's the business of sports, and every individual is a business and has a brand. But the education starts at 14. It starts at 13. It starts at 15. It starts at, like, you look at like players that have like, oh, I'm a rapper, but I play in the NBA. I play in the WNBA. Oh, I'm a model on Vogue magazine, but I play in the WNBA. Yo, we got that. We got that in softball. We can do that. We got talented girls that can do different things. So when do we get to that point? When does softball allow? When does the culture evolve to where we allow the young girls to be able to be themselves and be a softball player at the same time?
Yeah, I feel like it's changing. I feel like it's getting better in a sense that I think there's more. I think that the younger players now who grow up in that TikTok era, and so they're starting to realize that. Like, I'm watching some of our players in the Alliance Fastpitch that they kind of already do have their brands. I was joking. You remember the Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, like drama, right? Which really, did they really have drama, or did media play it up, right? And so that, I'm watching this is probably controversial, right?
No, this is good. This is good. No, I know where you're going to. Go ahead, go.
Texas Tech saga, right? Like going through, and media sometimes creates the villain and then the good girl, like, right? And so we haven't had that. And I personally think it's a good thing. It's what brings mainstream eyeballs to our sport, and we are, like, we've kind of been a blue collar sport. We got a bunch of, like, just good humans, which is awesome. And I support that. So don't go away from that.
No.
But having some of these storylines are really important, right? And having a villain, like having that polarizing figure, people watch that, right? Even if you watch it to like dislike the villain, but we need mainstream eyeballs. To me, like, whenever the big money, the corporate dollars and things are coming in, it can't just be softball fans, right? We have to grow our audiences. You're seeing that in the Women's College World Series with these numbers that keep going up. I think our numbers, AUSL, keep going up. And they're starting to follow players, right? Like we haven't had traditional brands like the Dallas Cowboys or the Patriots or the Yankees, right? Like, we're going to follow individual players. And so following that individual player from her travel ball to her college to then her pro, that's helping us build too. But, I'm all for building a brand, thinking of yourself as a brand. And it can mean anything, right? Like, what are you into? Like, what are you into besides softball? What is that? Because there's a lot of things out there that are relatable to audiences that's like, oh, okay, I want to follow her because I'm into makeup, right? Like what Edenfield's done, or I'm
Yeah.
into my faith, right? Or I'm into whatever that is. Just getting behind that's really
And
important.
I think we do want that. I think we're all for it, but I think we still can be more intentional about pushing it, if you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying. And softball has softball people. We're regular people. We just happen to play and love softball, right? Coach it. We have administrative roles. We run teams. We run tournaments. There's tournaments. All aspects. We're personal instructors. There's all so many different aspects of it, and we have that. And then there's the messiness of it. That softball is always kept out of the public eye. And then we finally get to see the mess in the World Series. Didn't shake hands. Oh my gosh. Well, guess what? I've been in that situation as a coach where I'm like, I don't think it's a good idea for us to shake hands after all the things that have transpired throughout the game because it could get ugly. So you know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go over to the coach and say, hey, would you agree? Yes, I agree. So we'll do a little fist bump, me and you. But no disrespect, but I don't think it's a good idea. You know what I mean? Like, so that's
Sure.
a decision that I've made. I've been there. Trust me, and I've been on the side of it where I did shake hands and stuff got ugly in the line, like really
Yeah.
ugly. Not in softball
We're
though.
competitors.
This was baseball. This wasn't softball. By the way, this is when I was coaching like youth baseball. So like I've seen that. Like I understood that. But I think the mess sells. The subplots sell because obviously, like you said,
Yeah.
it does draw the the casual fan. The casual fan is going to
Yes.
want to see those. They're going to want to be drawn to the subplots. So I concur with that. So what's different? What's different about AUSL right now? Like why is it more relevant? It is though. Why though? Specifically why? And not just TV. I mean that helps, but like
Yeah.
it's still not it's still not. People aren't home sitting down watching TV. You know, but it's still we want to
Well,
know what's going on.
number one,
Mm-hmm.
professional softball is a business. It's business and it's entertainment, right? That's
Yep.
what professional sports are.
Yep.
So it's not a charity case. It's not like it is a business,
Mm-hmm.
and it's entertainment, and we need to
Yep.
get eyeballs. For the longest time, we weren't on TV, right? We were hard to find. If you
Yes.
wanted to be a professional football fan, you had to work really hard. Now, because of the broadcast deal, right? I'm having fun as a fan too. That every night I get to watch pro softball, and it's super easy to go on my YouTube TV
Mm-hmm.
or ESPN, like
Yep.
whatever. It's on at the bars.
Right.
It's on at the airports when you're walking through. So fans they're seeing it. So your hardcore fans can find it really easily, and then your mainstream fans who might just be drawn in of like, okay, and it looks good. I'll tell you, like the presentation of it is really good. Just there are some really very intelligent people that are working for AUSL. I'm
Oh.
a big fan of
Mm-hmm.
what's going on behind the scenes, the partnerships, the creativity. Like you're seeing what's with going on with Sephora. Obviously, is a big one.
That's good.
The Adidas deal is only going to get bigger. We're in year one of that. I
Mm-hmm.
just think like the partnership and the activations, the
Mm-hmm.
content side
Mm-hmm.
is so good, right?
Yeah,
That
I noticed that they
it's
were doing
people.
like in-game interviews. Like they could like let's say someone hits a home run, they'll go like the game is playing, but
Yeah,
you're hearing from that player. That's interesting.
yeah,
That's an interesting
it, it's different.
way to broadcast it.
Yeah,
I like that.
and that's Sherry Kemp. Who Sherry's been involved in pro softball for a long time. I think she's like in the perfect spot and down to push boundaries a little bit, right? Like miking players up in game, which traditional sports, right? You think baseball,
Mhm.
you think traditional sports, we don't want to mess with that.
Right.
And so it's kind of it's a collective effort
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, we are going to push the boundaries a little bit. We're going to put cameras in the dugout. We're going to put mics on players. Why? Fans want to get to know that player,
It
right?
brings
Now
us
we're
in.
given an inside look. Now I
Mm-hmm.
get to hear, you know, who was just doing, like, Brito was just doing one while she's turning double plays and she's talking about making coffee. Like, that's relatable. Sis
Yeah.
Bates on our team, who's like super relatable, right? Hearing
Mm-hmm.
her talk about our 9:30 a.m. game and when she got up and what her mindset was, like
Mm-hmm.
the coaching moments too that are going on in that, but also like I just feel connected to that player. So
Yeah,
I love
yeah.
how we found this. I think it's really important.
I felt like when I watched it the other night, yeah, I felt like it was I appreciated the intimacy
Yeah.
and the authenticity because it's like it don't get no realer than that.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like I'm right there, and that's what I love. That's what I really appreciated that. I want to talk about. Can we talk about Alliance?
Yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Um,
Change
and so because you got, I mean, you can your range is you got a broad range of things you can talk about, and you know what you're talking about because you're in it, right? You're in it, right? So, um, and I'm gonna tell you, there's not in my experience of participating in the Alliance, the AFCS. You know, you have like the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And I'm just saying this. I'm not just saying this because you're on here. I say it to everybody. Yo, if you're playing in tier 2 or tier 3, it don't matter. All those teams are freaking good because they have to qualify to be there. So that means they know how to win.
Yep.
You could think you're good and go out there and get smoked. You end up in tier 2. You're like, oh, I'm in tier 2. I got this. No, you don't. You don't got this. I'm telling you, and this, I'm telling you guys, I'm telling you, like it is really a different brand, and it's full 7 inning games. So if you've been going around going hour and a half to drop dead, you know, with all this drop dead stuff, you you don't get to pitch 3-4 innings and the game is over. You got to go 7.
Mm-hmm.
So now, so from a player development standpoint, if I'm a World Series contending team, I want to recruit pitchers who have gone
Yes.
7,
Yep.
who know how to go 7 and win a tournament. Because what is the World Series? A tournament. Like
Yep.
it's a tournament. I say tournament like I am from New York, so I know you guys say tournament everywhere else, but New Yorkers we still say tournament. I'm sorry because TOUR is always going to be tour to me. I'm just throwing it out there. But your thoughts on development these days, right? Your thoughts on development, youth development. I know you guys have a huge platform that you can go on and there's development resources and tools there for educational tools for coaches, parents, players. Speak to that a little bit and the need for it. And I want to know how, because I feel like people don't necessarily take full advantage of those resources the way that I think that they should.
Absolutely.
You know, but how do we get people to be more engaged? Because there's so many things out there. But how do we get the engagement? Like, what are some of the things you guys are doing to promote and push engagement?
Oh, okay, I'm going to start with more controversy right here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Our sport has been led by tournaments. It
Yep.
hasn't been led by a player development focus. And what I mean by that is kids just play like this tournament, this tournament, this tournament, this tournament.
I got chills right
And
now. Oh my God. Yes, you're right. You're right. You're right.
the sport to me for a long time, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying it's necessarily a bad thing, I'm just telling you the
No,
truth.
it's what it is. Yeah.
The sport has been led by tournament directors.
Yeah.
The alliance is led by clubs. What are clubs? What are they built for? Develop players, right? So the people, the individual people that made up what the alliance is,
Mm-hmm.
are literally people that are in the ground floor of developing kids, developing players, you know, from a softball side, from a recruiting side, from a human development side. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that alone has changed, right? Because we are sitting in meetings and we always, this is the truth, 5.5 years later, what's best for the game, what's best for the kids. When we started the alliance, it was all about the player, right? The player, the player, the player.
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean? Well, we
Right.
care about the development of the player. The
Mm-hmm.
structure of our national championship is to develop players. It's to develop that pitching staff. It's to teach kids how to beat a team twice. It's to put them in circumstances that are truly preparing them for the next level and what they're going to see. That's player development, in my opinion, right? Of just that aspect. The idea too of the player recognition side,
Mm-hmm.
you're recognizing kids for their achievement in a development aspect. And so, you know, we've implemented things like the Alliance Academy.
Mm-hmm.
Our coaches boxes are one of my most favorite things that we do every month. Coaches from different organizations, different age divisions,
Mm-hmm.
they're getting on a Zoom call and we're just chatting the game, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey,
Yeah.
Rob, how are you guys working on situational defense? what are you doing for pitch calling in tournaments? Like, to have that at the travel ball level, right? Where it's just different circumstances. We have different circumstances than a college program does. So
Yep.
when you can all share together, that creates then coach development that trickles down right to the player. So I think player development is huge. I think our sport has lacked it. I think we're still getting better. I would love to
Yep.
see more of it. I
Yep.
would love to see go back to my soccer roots, right? The academy model, kids training. Wow, this is going to be a big statement, but I would love to see us practice more. And I,
Yeah.
it's
No.
just an
Yeah.
important piece. I'm watching it at the pro level and what we did through spring training, which by the way is not glamorous. It's boring, right?
Right.
But every day, Sis Bates, one of the greatest infielders, she's doing every days, right? She's working on picks. Every day we're working on, balls in between. We're working on situational defenses, just communication,
Hmm.
simple things, but we're doing that at the pro level. Why wouldn't we do that at the youth level, right? And
Yeah.
getting a lot of that going. So I still think there's room to grow, but I think what we did with the Alliance is we brought together people that are super passionate about
Yep.
developing athletes.
And I think it has to be, and I believe that. I'm a development person, as you know, and I'm all about like how do I make myself better as a coach to be able to help my players
Yes.
to become better, right? And I want people to value practice. I want people to value. I need to get if I want to play in the infield, for example. If I say I want to be the shortstop or I want to be the second baseman, then I have to show up to practice so we can run the bunt defenses numerous times and run the first
Correct.
and thirds numerous times and run downs numerous times. Because if you weren't at practice, how can I really put you in the infield in a game when we have to run those plays? And I don't think people really this.
Right.
Oh, can I guest play? No, you can't guest play. We have we have people that have hours and hours of practice together.
Go
No,
practice.
you can't. No, you can't. You know what I mean? Like, so I really, really coming from this and people. This is coming from the one of the founding people of the Alliance, right? So, and this is her stance. This is her philosophy, right? So, when people do something, when people birth something, when people put something into motion, it's a part of them
Yeah.
that they're giving us, and that's why you've been able to do what you do because you don't cut it. You don't sugarcoat things. Um, so I want to say softball is going through a transition right now as a sport, and I believe that these things trickle down. And I have so many mixed feelings about portal NIL. I love NIL because obviously NIL it's the business. It's business, right? Um, but portal because just like anything else, we could use the portal for good,
Right.
and then there's aspects of portal where it's not always viewed as good, but I guess it's the beauty of it is in the eye of the beholder. Um, what are your thoughts on how we reshape how we reshape because obviously it's different because we are used to something different. So when things are changing, it's always like this painful change. Like, okay, as we grow, we change, and it's painful. How I'm curious to know what your take is.
Well, my first thought goes
Mm-hmm.
to what I was just talking about at the youth,
Yeah.
right? We've had the portal for a long time in travel ball, and I'm not saying it's a good thing. It actually drives me nuts. But like you have players moving every single year, sometimes twice within the year, right? Like in
Mm-hmm.
a sense, we in softball a little bit have a culture of just like moving teams. One of my favorite stories and teams that I've ever watched was in 2000, I think it was 22,
Mm-hmm.
if not 23. And it was an OC Batbusters, Mike Stith's 18 under team.
Yeah.
There were players on that team that won the national championship, which, by the way, their outfield was Kai Miner, Taylor Shoemaker, Ella Parker, Reagan Shockey. Like what?
Shocky was good.
People on the
Yeah.
bench were all Americans in college. Those players chose to not go to another team. They stayed in that organization. They stayed on that team, even when they might have only got a pinch hit in a national championship game, and they still went to Oregon and Arizona. It just, I thought personally that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool to see some of these players that train together, play together, win a national championship together, and we're still fine being one of the best players in their class and not particularly starting. And to me, the life values in that are so much more important than, I mean, I'm watching players at 10 and under. My niece is, she's 9, or no, she's now 10, but they're a 9 and under team. I mean, I'm watching and I could almost pick it out. I knew the kids that were going to leave. And it's not the kid, it's the parents.
It is.
But it's just like, oh, come on. Like the values
we got
that
a
you're
shot,
teaching.
and we have a shot to build something special if we can keep them together.
Build
And I always tell teams, I'm like, man, if you can keep these kids together, you can really build
Yes.
something special. I can see it.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Um,
And some of the top performing teams are doing that. Like the Aces, Ryan Taylor and Taylor Taylor's organization, that team that won last year with Lexi McDaniel and Alyssa Parker, those players have been playing together for a long time. Like, why aren't we looking at that? Like, and it's parents, because you're making the decisions at the end of the day, but like, pay attention to what's really going on. Let your kids develop. Let them sit the bench. Let them go through failure in different aspects. This is so fun watching what's going on at the pro level, right? Like, every player on my team was pretty much an All-American, right? Or hitting the top 4 of their lineup in college. Was the Friday night starter. They're not anymore. I have rookies that aren't starting for the first time in their life, 22 years old. And it's hard. But it's like, okay, you're going to go through those different things. And it's the earlier you can learn that, the better. So I would love to see more life lessons taught through. I like completely diverted against your question of the transfer portal. It's just my take on.
No, you're good.
It's actually been starting even earlier in our sport.
Yeah, it's a fact. I mean, they are who they are when they get to college. So if they're leavers, I have a new word I'm using. Leavers leave. Leavers leave. I mean, if you're a leaver, you're a leaver, and if you're not, you're not. And I don't think it's. I have to get to the point in my own head where I'm like, this is the way it is. Now, what am I going to do as an adult, as a coach? Because I feel like, I put so much into this kid. I put so much emotion into this kid, and it hurts that she left. This is me being transparent right now. Damn. And I hope for the best for her. But I would have given her my last $5. It was real true love. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to the point where I'm like, don't be bitter. Don't feel like you were slighted, or people just have to do what they have to do. And I have to look at it. I have to keep my perspective on like, I still have to be the servant coach. I have to serve people. And they have to do what they have to do. There's other sides of it,
Yeah. It's definitely, it's a part of our game. So it is what it is.
Yes.
But yeah, I think we can create culture younger, sooner, and just teach. Like, I just go back to, and sometimes like there is absolutely a need to transfer. Like, I'm not against it.
For sure.
Everybody has their own story in that. But just to like keep bouncing around, and basketball might be worse. I'm watching like kids are going to graduate from 4 different schools.
That's true. Well, AAU culture is that too. So see, like AAU culture does that. They change high schools. They get together. Hey, we're all going to go to this high school. We're going to move. We're going to use our grandmother's address. We're going to. I can get 3 more players. I can get on the phone and call some players I played with, and we're going to get all together. We're going to go win a ship or whatever it is, and that's cool. I guess. I mean, I guess that's cool. Like, that's what it is. But now we just have to like really figure out. Okay, this is where we are. This is our culture. This is the culture of the sport, and how do we move now? How do we adapt as adults to be accommodating to what the culture is saying is going? Because obviously. And I had a conversation with an SEC head coach about 2 weeks ago. And I said to this person, I'm not even going to say the gender. I said to this person, listen, you are a culture person. People come to your school because They want to play for you, and they want to be a part of the vibe that you have, that you have. If you go and you play this portal game, right? Now you're bringing in people who the people who came to play for you initially didn't want to play with.
It's interesting.
You understand? They're not one of us. They're not us. We're different. We now I got to play with that person. Now I'm out. So if you're going to play that game, you got to play that game. I like what Murph did. Murph played his game, the culture game. He did.
Yeah.
He hasn't changed it. I'm not saying he didn't go in the portal, but he didn't go in the portal like, boo, I'm taking, he wasn't like, and that's a whole nother level of, so we got to ask ourselves who we want to be on all sides of it, even at the travel level. Who are you? Who do you want to be? And I think that's the question that we have to look deep inside and say, well, who do I want to be? What kind of program do I want to have? Do I, I think that's the key, and I know you got to go, but I want to close it out with, and because I really appreciate your time. I know you got 1,000 things to do, and we're grateful that you came and visited us on the podcast today. What 5 years from now? I know you already know the answer to this. 5 years from now,
I look at this point.
You have it in your head. I know you. You have it in your head. 5 years from now, where are we? What's it going to be like? Because I think tech and on-field game tech, instant feedback on metrics. I feel like metrics is becoming a thing more than it has been, and it's becoming what it should have always been, so that we can predict where kids are going to be and how they should be performing. But what do you see? Like, what do you 5 years? Where are we?
Well, I still think right at the top, that's where my head goes. 5 years from now, we have already been through an Olympics. I think that part is important. I think keeping our sport in the Olympics is really, really important for the longevity and the international aspect of that. We need it. I think for eyeballs, corporate dollars, TV. I hope that we're watching broadcast deals and what's going on, right? We're watching the valuations of women's professional teams. Like the tipping point is there. It's happened. And we're seeing it in other sports. And I'm biased, but I still think our sport is the most fun to watch on TV. I think our sport at the women's sports level has the opportunity to continue to grow when we're seeing basketball, women's soccer, volleyball, we're seeing those grow. I think that TV deal is coming. When the big TV deal comes, dollars come. My dream and all of this has been where professional softball players can be full-time professional softball players.
Yes.
And we're still not quite there, but that's what I want to see. I want to see where year-round you can be a professional softball player for many years and you make a good living doing that. But before that happens, we have to have TV and TV dollars. We have to have corporate dollars. Like that's where it's going to come. So that's what I hope. I hope in 5 years, because then what that means now is opportunities grow for little girls. Like at the youth level, we have to be very mindful of flag football, volleyball, soccer, like participation numbers. That's why I think it's so important for us to work together, because stop fighting over the same pieces of the pie, right? Grow the pie. We all win. And so getting girls into the sport, keeping girls into the sport, giving them a really good experience. Now we continue to grow, to get more participation. And then I think when they see the opportunities, right, they see already what they can do at college softball level. But then they see that mountaintop, right, where they can always just aspire to do that. So that's what I hope. I mean, I think we're on the right track. I think we have the right people leading the sport at various levels. That part's super important to me. But yeah, I'm just excited for what year is that? I mean, that's
2031. 2031.
Yeah, I still like, I don't know, one year at a time. I'm super passionate. This has been a really cool experience to see, to finally really be in the middle of professional softball and youth softball. And I'm just very fortunate the people I'm surrounded by, both at the Alliance level, at AUSL. There's some great people that are doing really, really good things. And that's what I think excites me the most is who's behind it.
There's a way that I need to close this because I know that you took a huge step in your faith, right? And most people don't talk about it. And I think because we don't talk about it, our kids are being fought really hard in their minds. They're being fought. The fight's real. And I love the way that you have been outspoken about your faith. I love the way that you've implemented and brought that into the fold and made that a part of it, because the only way that our kids and our children and the adults are going to make it and survive how hard it is right now. It's hard. It's going to be, it has to be, there has to be, we have to do that. We have to make that a thing. To that you say what?
Oh, that's cool that you just asked that. And sometimes I don't know if I talk about it enough. I think in regards to faith, I mean, I truly feel that God is put me in this situation as, because I'm looking, I'm like, why in the world? I grew up playing soccer. I never played travel softball. I'm working in this. Like, that is not me. That is, that is God who has put me in this situation. And so it's like, okay, I'm just trying to live out what that is. And it's, I think having faith too is just, man, it's hard.
Yeah.
Like, our sport is hard. Life's hard, right? But understanding the why behind that and why sacrifice is important too in the bigger scheme of things, I think is really important. So yeah, that part's cool. It's, yeah. And I think at the end of the day too, just like, I know this is more of a faith, but like, just good character, like just being good people too. Respect is a really important word that I was taught in college, of just like respecting yourself, respecting others, respecting the game. So that part to me is really important as well. And just making sure, like, yes, I'm competitive. Yes, I want to win, but there's a much bigger purpose that's going on, and being a part of that bigger picture purpose, I think, is really important.
That's the word I was gonna say, purpose. And I really feel like you are definitely, some people live their entire life and never really truly, find their purpose. You are definitely walking in your purpose for sure. And helping so many others to find theirs, and providing a platform for other people to really discover their own purpose as well, which is that's gotta be everything. So I'm really glad you were able to make it. I'm our time has not wasn't what because we could have went on forever, and I know that's impossible right now. But I'd love to have you back. I'm going to have you back. I hope we always run into each other at different places. I'm looking forward to running into you soon, and we'll catch up soon. If anybody wants to reach out and maybe follow, give Jami Lobpries a follow, where can they follow you at?
I don't have enough time to be on. So Instagram is probably the best.
Yeah. So give her a follow on IG so you can keep up with what's going on. And I assume you got somebody probably running your social, so everything's up to date.
No, I don't. I don't advise. One day I will. But shout out to Rob, my first hitting coach, which I think I was 23 years old when I finally got a hitting coach outside of school. So shout out to you. I loved our time in the cages.
We did have a lot of time. I was looking at some videos too. We had the knee brace on. You were determined. Like, this girl's coming in with a knee brace. She's coaching college softball. She's a professional athlete.
That's another podcast to talk about injuries and recovery and
stubbornness. God, I was like, this kid. You were. I'm working with you with your swing, and you're inspiring me. I'm like,
I needed work. That's right.
those are good old days. I love it. So we'll catch up soon. Thank you,
Rob. I appreciate you. Thanks for what you do.
I appreciate you too.